What is the best FAAB strategy for your fantasy football season? Imagine having a secret weapon that can help you pick up the best players at the right time without blowing your entire budget. That's what a smart FAAB strategy can do for your fantasy football team. FAAB, or free agent acquisition budget, gives each manager a set amount of money, usually $100, to bid on players on the waiver wire. It's a blind auction, so you don't know what others are bidding, which makes it a game of timing and judgment. The key is to spend wisely, not just wildly. You want to grab players who can really help your team, but also save enough money for later in the season when injuries and opportunities pop up. Start by planning your spending. Don't blow your entire budget early on players who might only be good for a week or two. Instead, keep some money in reserve for the playoff stretch when the best players are often the most expensive or hardest to get. When bidding, aim to spend around 10 to 12% of your total budget on a player you really want. For example, if you're bidding on a top receiver who's just become available and your budget is $100, a bid of $10 to $12 is a good starting point. But always adjust based on how much you value the player and how much you need them. Focus your bids on impact players or players filling critical gaps in your lineup. If you're missing a running back or a wide receiver due to injury, that's when to be aggressive. But avoid wasting your budget on players who are only hot for a week unless they can make a real difference for your team. Keep an eye on the schedule and player performance to decide if a short-term pickup is worth it. Timing is everything. Most leagues process waivers once a week, often in the middle of the week. Use this schedule to plan your bids. If your league uses daily waivers, be more cautious and monitor player availability closely. Watch how other managers spend their FAAB. If you notice they overspend early, you can save your money for later bids when prices might drop. Remember to keep some FAAB in your pocket for the final weeks of the season. Injuries happen, and late-season pickups can turn your team around. Having a budget ready for playoff pushes can be the difference between making the postseason or missing out. Unlike traditional waiver priority systems, where the order changes after each claim, FAAB gives everyone an equal shot every week. Use this to your advantage by bidding strategically rather than relying on your waiver order. In the end, the best FAAB strategy is a mix of discipline and smart judgment. Spend enough to get players who can help now, but hold back enough to make moves later in the season. Keep evaluating player value, your roster needs, and what your opponents are doing. With patience and careful planning, your FAAB budget can be a powerful tool to improve your team and give you an edge in your fantasy football league.